Fools. Another week. Welcome to another week of the Formula Fools podcast. This is going fucking terribly, Skin. We've had the first race this season, and if you watch the races from Australia, then you'll know it was on at 1 a.m. And I woke up to watch that race.
Yep. Why did you do that?
Because I'm a fool.
Okay. You told me you weren't doing that. We were meant to watch the race together on Sunday around lunchtime, which I did by myself.
Go, Skin.
And I woke up on Sunday morning and you were posting stories at 1 a.m.
Yep. I'm an idiot.
Why?
I don't know. I'm an idiot. Because I was just so excited, and then I naturally woke up at like 12:30 and I was just like, oh, F1's on. Right. And I regret that heavily because it was a boring race.
Yeah, okay. Did you make it through it? You didn't fall asleep again?
Yeah. I had weird amount of energy.
Okay.
I struggled to get back to sleep.
Yeah.
So like it was like 3 a.m. and I was just like, oh God, I'm wired.
Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I'm David, your guide through the twists and turns, and alongside me is the man with more questions than a post-race interview, Skin.
You know, nice to be here.
And making sure our engines are revving, we have Charlie, the fact checker. He's here to make sure we don't spin out with any of our ridiculous claims. He's not on camera, so if you are watching the video, unfortunately you can't see his beautiful face. You can say hello, Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
Good. From pit lane antics to racing riddles, we're here to make you laugh and question your sanity. Sit back, buckle up. It's time for Formula Fools. Also, my wife Megan sat in the corner. She just nodded her head with a very happy smile on her face. So we're going well, apparently.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Smooth.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Skin, I'm throwing to you. You've got some questions this week about the Formula One season as a whole.
Yeah, sure. I felt like we covered in a good amount of detail, like how a race works last week, and yeah, it was good. I got to watch the whole race on the weekend and sort of had some idea of what was happening. It was nice. But yeah, I guess I'm interested to know more about the overall season and what's going to happen throughout the year. So that one race was in Bahrain.
Yep.
And now they're just every couple of weeks they're just packing it up and going all around the world basically.
Yeah, not every couple of weeks, Skin. There's another race this weekend.
This weekend,
Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice. All right. So yeah, I guess where do they go? So all right, this weekend's in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
What does that mean? Is that substantially different, I assume?
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is an interesting one because it's a fairly new race to the calendar, maybe the newest race. I think it's the newest race to the calendar. Street circuit. So the track condition is just, Vegas is the newest race. Saudi Arabia is the second newest race. Yep. I think Saudi Arabia came 2022 and then Vegas last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the altitude is slightly different. You're probably going to get more heat in Saudi Arabia, maybe, because like Bahrain was like 18 degrees during the race. Yeah. So, Charlie's already shaking his head.
2021, mate, December.
21. That's what I was just saying, actually, to Skin. I just texted him saying it was 21 when it was added to the calendar. Anyway, so probably more heat, probably a different altitude. So the cars will perform differently from that sense. But the main thing is it's a street circuit instead of it being an actual race circuit. Mm-hmm. So tougher roads, probably more degradation on tires, which could mean more pit stops and things like that. And just overall trickier corners because you've got a lot more like heavy braking zones into like 90-degree corners or whatever. But Saudi Arabia does also it's a very fast track. So it's faster than last week's track. Right, so we'll see more laps during the race.
Wait, what do you mean a fast track?
Like the lap time will be significantly smaller than last week's. I think last week's was like, during the race, we were like 131s, 132s.
Yeah.
This will be like 115s, 120s maybe.
Is it just a shorter lap?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Distance is just shorter. Okay. So yeah. Nice. So obviously quicker laps.
That makes sense. Okay. And yeah, I've heard heaps of people talking about sort of the substantial difference between racetracks and street racing.
Yeah.
Why is that so significant, I guess? And what do you prefer watching? Does it matter? Does it make a big difference?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Street tracks are regular roads that people drive on. So like this track this week, it's just like Monday to Friday. It's a normal road. In fact, I don't think there's any other race that races on this track. So it's literally just the Formula One track year in, year out. So you've got that as a trickier condition because the surface isn't designed like they have resurfaced it and it is more up to code. Like there is a code of standard that they have to get the track up to. So it will have been done towards that, but then cars will drive on it year round. So it means that you've got trickier conditions because regular cars will have been on it. Usually street tracks are bumpier. So you usually see a lot more sparks flying out the back. Now you will have seen a lot during the race last week because these cars are just generating so much downforce that they're just being pushed down so heavily. So there's crazy amount of sparks. You'll probably see more of them, like bigger, like balloons of sparks coming out the back of the car on a street track.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just that kind of like the surface is always tougher. Barriers are alongside the road, so usually you don't see people cutting corners or anything like we spoke about last week.
Yeah, are they generally like tighter corners? If you would have to build a barrier like alongside buildings and stuff. I assume,
yeah. So it's like building,
you don't have a lot of room to work
footpath, and then barrier would be on the edge of the footpath, and then racetrack.
Okay, so it sounds like it's tougher racing conditions.
It depends. Like it can be, but also it can be easier because it means that there is only pretty much one line that you can take through a corner. So it can make racing real boring because it makes overtaking a lot harder because there's no room for error. So like people are less likely to throw a dive down the inside into a right hander because there's no runoff, there's no safety. Like if you mess that up, you're in the barrier, you're out the race. So there's a lot more punishment. And therefore, drivers don't risk as much usually at street circuits.
Right. Okay.
So it just depends. But then, like Singapore, which has been on the calendar for years now, is probably one of the best street tracks in the world. Like it's guru. I look forward to that one every year.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it just changes.
Right. So it's not like street racing is better or more enjoyable, or it's just sort of each track is different.
It
just makes it different.
A lot of people will say like Spa is one of the most boring tracks because, and even though it's a real racetrack, but I don't really know why people would hate on it. It's personally one of my favorite tracks, but we don't have the best races there. Right. Whereas Singapore usually, because you have got some runoff areas, usually generates real good racing, and like there is usually crashes or safety cars or whatever. So like you usually get like just interesting like races with things happening. So I think it's just different, but generally F1 fans hate street circuits. Like they've just announced a street circuit in Madrid. I think it comes in 26 or 27 or something, and people are hating it. Like people are pissed.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Okay, wait. So you're saying you don't mind just some tracks are better, but as a general rule, people don't like street racing.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess it's because street racing is like the reason we're going to Madrid is because Madrid will financially benefit hugely from having a race in their city instead of going out to the middle of Spain. Yeah. Okay. And so like, I think that's why we get street races. And I think that in turn is why people don't like them. But like when you look at the calendar, we've got 24 races on the calendar, 7 of which are street races. Like, I think it's a fair amount. I think that's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I quite like them.
All right. And so Singapore is obviously one of them. You quite like Singapore. What are the others? Are there any others that you really like?
Monaco, just for the history and just for the glitz and glam. But when we get to Monaco, you'll probably fall asleep. It's the most boring race of the season. Just because when they used to race around Monaco, the cars were like, I don't know, 70 centimeters wide or not centimeter, like a meter wide. Yeah. 70 centimeters wide, a meter wide. Like they were super small cars. Yeah, okay. Whereas now they're like 2.5 meters wide and 3.5 meters long. So it's really difficult it's such a small track. It's really difficult to race around them.
Right. Okay. Well, it's tough to overtake and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just really, essentially the starting order is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you qualify on pole, I can't remember the percentage of it, but it's like most of the time people that qualify on pole in Monaco win the race.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
But yeah, then there's a bunch of other ones. Like just looking at the list, technically Australia is a street circuit because Albert Park, like we've ran through it. There was cars driving on that road. Like it's just a regular park Monday to Friday. So technically a street circuit. You've also got.
Where does the majority of the race go in Australia, in Melbourne? Is it all?
It's just Albert Park.
It's just Albert Park.
Just Albert Park. Before that, they raced in Adelaide. I can't remember what. I think that was a track. But I can't remember what that was. It was so many years ago. Melbourne have held it for years now.
Okay. Like there's no part of the Melbourne track that's like through the city or anything. It's just all around Albert
just Park. Albert Park. Yeah. Okay. They keep it just that. So like when we get to that, like obviously me and Skinner go in, if you see us there, then say hello, say, hey, you fools. Obviously we've got thousands of fans at this point. But when you watch it back on TV, you'll see like the drone shots from above and the helicopter shots and stuff. And it's such a guru shot because you see the track in like the foreground and then the background of just like the cityscape. And it just looks gorgeous. Like it's so nice.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it. Shame about my cricket season coming to an end.
Nah, that's not. Your cricket season coming to an end is the best thing that happened to the Formula Fools podcast.
Okay, I hope so. All right, and yeah. So what? All right, so you said Monaco is sort of one of your favorite street tracks. What are your favorite tracks?
Yeah, Spa is definitely my favorite. So this one behind me is Spa. It kind of looks like a little machine gun kind of thing. Probably can't see that on camera, but I'll put something on screen.
Sure.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a bit of a machine gun. It's just a great track. It's got a lot of history. The corner El Rouge or Radion going into El Rouge. No, it's not. It's somewhere else going into El Rouge. Radion's at the other end of the straight. Some of the best corners, in my opinion, like just really beautiful corners to look at, difficult corners to drive, and just makes for just a great lap.
Okay.
What are you laughing at, Skin?
I've just never looked at a corner and thought, that's beautiful.
You haven't seen. I'll show you some stuff, Skin. I'll show you some stuff.
Okay.
Do you know what?
Can't
Business
wait.
expense. Let's fly to Belgium this year. Spa Grand Prix.
Yeah. Massive business budget with our 70 downloads on that one. Yeah.
I think we got 72, Skin. Come on.
All right, get around us.
Yeah.
Wait, so have you got Spa tattooed on your body? Why have you got the Albert Park tattooed on you?
Because I like palm trees, and there's palm trees in this. They don't have palm trees at Spa.
Right,
so,
okay. But you're not. Melbourne's not particularly special. It's not like your next favorite.
It's probably top three.
Okay.
I'd be tossing up the next two between probably Silverstone and Melbourne would be second or third.
Okay.
Interchangeable each year. I think year on year I change my opinion on that. Okay. Just depends how the race goes. If the race is shit, then I'm like, rack that one off. That can be third.
Okay, fair enough. And so, how do they decide where all the races are? Like, how do they? Well, I assume it's similar most years. Last year they added Vegas, but as a general rule, these are all the same. But like, where they choose these cities from?
So, well, to kind of, and I know you've also got this written down, so I'll answer this one first because it leads on to this. How a track gets approved to be on the calendar is through the FIA, like the people that govern Formula One and all motor racing. They have a set of guidelines for the track's rating or criteria kind of like label. So they have to get to a grade 1 level to be able to race, for Formula One cars to race on them. There is only 47 tracks in the whole world that have grade 1, like a grade 1 certificate to say that Formula One cars can race on them. Okay. So firstly, you have to get your track to that level to be able to even apply or like bid to be on the F1 calendar. And then after that, it's pretty much, putting a bid in and just seeing if the FIA and the Formula One and the shareholders of the, Formula One and everything like agree that should be on the calendar, which comes down to money.
Right.
So it's financial. Like, is this country going to bring financial gain to Formula One, as in how much money they're going to pay them, and what is what's travel like to that race, right, and is it going to bring fans in that are then going to spend more money in the paddock or at the track kind of thing. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but it's generally just, will Formula One make money out of it? Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. And you said they're adding Madrid next year?
2026.
Yeah, 2026 they're adding Madrid. It's going to be a hybrid street so street circuit is like most of it, and then they kind of exit the city and go onto a regular track that is being purpose-built for this.
Sure. And so will that be in place of another race, or is that an additional race? Is it like, it feels like a pretty packed season. Like you said, there's already a race. There was a race last weekend. There's one this weekend. It feels like they're doing a lot of racing.
Yeah.
Like, how long does the season go for? Do they get a few weeks off here and there? How's it?
Yeah. So we have a Christmas break, which is a real good thing. And they just brought in an actual freeze. I think they have to have a week off or 2 weeks off over Christmas. Like, as in, factories have to shut down. People have to have holidays. They've enforced it because 24 races is fucking intense for people to be flying around the world. So we have a Christmas break, usually ending like end of November. Last year it was like beginning of December. Year before last it was beginning of December. And then we start back up usually mid-Feb for testing, and then first race end of Feb, March. That's the kind of Christmas break, but teams are still super busy building the car, getting ready for preseason launches. So it kind of never ends for teams, but for drivers and like some of the staff that are like just on site for the races, they get a slightly easier winter.
Okay.
And I'm talking slightly.
Obviously.
And for fans,
I'm
fans.
flat out over here.
Yeah, exactly. You just wait for the off season for the Formula Fools podcast. We're just going to be busy just filling so much filler content. You won't believe it.
Okay, can't wait.
But so they get that. We have a little summer break, which is winter for us. So, because obviously, Southern Hemisphere. So that's usually like 3 to 4 weeks in like July, August time. And then it's straight back into it. But this is the busiest season we've ever had. So last season was the biggest season and this season is the biggest season.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of like how many race weekends we've got. Back in the day, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, it was 8 races a year and now it's 24.
8.
Yeah. This is why when you look at, when people say like Lewis Hamilton is the greatest of all time, he's got the most points of all time, he's got the most wins of all time. There's also like when Senna was racing, there was like fucking 7 races a season, 8 races a season. Like and also points were way different back then. That's a whole other thing. But like, how can you compare it when there is triple the amount of races in a season to what Senna had? Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I haven't got an answer for you.
Yeah, no, I know you don't. I know.
I'm the one with the questions.
Sorry, yeah, I know. Yeah, I get riled up if you can't tell when people like brag on Lewis's stats. So it's like, chill. It's circumstantial.
Okay, all right. No, I appreciate that.
And now it's time for the Hot Lap recap with Ryan Smith, guest presenter. When I say guest presenter, he's not really a presenter. He's just on for this one segment every time we have a race. You don't know who Ryan Smith is?
I do not.
No, he's my friend from back in the UK. So I'm calling him our man in the field just because he's not here with us now.
Okay.
So he's our man in the field.
Just in some field.
Well, actually, he's in his car today. He's a man in a car.
All right.
In England. So Ryan will be taking us through the events of the race weekend and attempting to do so within the time it took Max Verstappen to do his qualifying lap of a 1:29.1, I think it was. So Ryan has got a little audio message for us here. Enjoy.
Hey there, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. Welcome to the front seat of my Mustang, and also welcome to the Hot Lap Recap segment, where I, your average Ryan of the F1 circus, whisk you through the Bahrain Grand Prix, the sizzling opener of the 2024 Formula One season. I'm going to do it quicker than you can say pit stop enough times over and over again within 1 minute 29.1 seconds, because that's how fast the fastest lap was. All right, now fasten your seatbelts. We're going to go fast. We're going to burn some rubber, and we're maybe going to burn a few egos along the way. Okay, so come on, let's hit the gas. Max Verstappen, okay, the speedster from the land of tulips and windmills, didn't just win, he practically teleported to victory, leaving everyone else in his dust. Now, Red Bull's current strategy is just destroy records, destroy lap times, and destroy the hopes and dreams of Ginger Spice. Now, Sergio Perez, playing Robin to Verstappen's Batman, snagged second, but the real Red Bull kicker was the Christian Horner soap opera. Hours after being cleared by Red Bull, he's back in the media melting pot, all because of some pretty saucy, anonymous emails. Now, Hamilton's seat warmer at Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, galloped to third with Charles Leclerc hot on his heels, despite Ferrari deciding that he wanted to be a barbecue. Now, Mercedes, bless their hearts, are still playing catch-up. Russell and Hamilton ending up 5th and 7th, while Toto Wolff was seen praying to Santa. I don't even know if that's a thing, but he was. He was praying to Santa, apparently, asking for an early upgrade aero package, I imagine. Now, McLaren's dynamic duo Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri Sauce, showing sparks of brilliance, coming 6th and 8th. And Fernando Alonso, the man who's been racing since the dawn of time, managed a 9th decade, probably. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll sneaked into the top 10, proving that sometimes it's not just about having a billionaire father, but no, that doesn't seem right. No, it is for him just about having a billionaire father. And anyway, just as it looked like the dust was about to settle, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, the big boss of the FIA, finds himself facing allegations of being Fernando Alonso's secret lover, probably, after trying to get a 10-second penalty expunged in 2023 to protect his little Alonso-wancy. And stop the clock. 1 minute 29.179. Oh yes, that is Max Verstappen's fastest lap of Bahrain qualifying. Love it. There we have it. Verstappen flying without wings. Ferrari just playing with fire. Mercedes writing letters to the North Pole. And the FIA's very own reality TV show that will challenge any Netflix documentary. What a way to kick off 2024. That's a wrap on the high-speed race review today. I'll see you next time, chaps, for some more turbocharged tales with me, Ryan, on the Hot Lap Recap.
Cute little laugh as well from Ryan at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was entertaining.
Yeah.
He's good.
Ryan has done presenting before.
Right.
He's done television presenting, so
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this. He also stayed up till 1:30 this morning in the UK. It was 7 a.m. or no, it was 10 a.m. here when I got the message of that audio clip. So he's been on the tools.
So he was working hard writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how he wrote it? He didn't ask ChatGPT to...
Oh, we're supposed to write things.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought chat was just gonna do all the pod for us.
Yeah.
Shit.
But that was awesome.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, probably. I mean, well, it was that. I mean, about that. Firstly, that was good, but it felt like there were probably a few little digs at people in there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe were more emotionally motivated than factual, but that's fine.
Probably emotionally motivated for every fan of Formula One, I would say.
You reckon?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Which ones? Like the Lance Stroll billionaire father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first one that sprung to mind. Lance Stroll, didn't he spin out at the start of the race?
Yeah, actually.
And then he ended up coming
guru
10th
race
or something.
Yeah.
He's obviously done quite well.
He's done very well. This is probably the best start to a season he's ever had. Like that was a solid race from him.
Yeah.
But he's only in the car because his dad's a billionaire.
Righto.
Yeah. But nah, he did genuinely guru job because he got torpedoed by Hülkenberg. Lap 1.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. And then my main question about the race is, why is Max Verstappen so much better than everyone else?
Sorry, what was his name?
I don't know. How do you say it?
Max Verstappen.
Stappen. Not strapping.
Not strapping. He's not strapping on anything, Skin.
Okay. Sorry.
Why is he so good? I don't know. He's got a really good car. Like he's got the best car on the grid.
But so does old mate.
So does Perez. Yeah. This is the thing that a lot of people are confusing because a lot of people online are like, season's over. It's the car that's winning it. But like, actually, it's not really the car because Checo finished 22 seconds behind Max.
Yeah,
and the Ferrari was only like 5 seconds behind him. So like the car is guru.
Yeah, I'm sure
but Max is then just. But this is the thing: when Lewis was winning, everyone said it's the car. But when you looked at the gap between Lewis and Bottas, his teammate at the time, it was similar. Like he has that edge on his teammate. Yeah. The car got him to the front, and then he had the rest of it. It's the same for Max. He's just got so much skill and loves this car so much that the car puts him to the front, and then everything else after that is just him dominating and just being fucking guru.
Okay. And I take it no one's worked out what it is that makes him so good. Otherwise, surely people would be trying to replicate. It just seems like a fucking piss take. Like.
Honestly, I think if you were to put every single person on the grid in that car, it would be closer. Like, I don't think Max is the best on the grid. Okay. I think people could beat him. Lando could probably beat him. Maybe Charles.
Okay.
Like, it'd be close. It'd be a lot closer if they were all in the same car.
Right, okay.
But it's not stock car racing, so we don't do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, he's just got
Does anyone know what it is about the car then that's so fantastic? Like, why are other teams not able to replicate that?
So, Red Bull's aerodynamicist is called Adrien Newey. We will do a whole separate thing just on Adrien Newey when there's not a race weekend. Mm-hmm. He is one of the most successful aerodynamicists ever in Formula One. He's been designing since the 70s. Okay. He's designed like genuinely for so many different teams like Williams, Red Bull, other teams that I can't remember right now. I'm also reading his book at the moment, so that fucking hurts that I can't remember any of the other teams he's designed for. But like, he's just won so much, and he's just learned so much about aerodynamics over the years. And like, when he first was learning aerodynamics, he was learning, and I think did his masters or like whatever you do when you're doing all that, you know, when you have like a dissertation. He did it just about ground effect cars, which is what these cars are. So it's using downforce underneath the car to push the car down to the road and get downforce.
Right.
So he learned, like, he's fucking best on ground for that.
Okay.
So that's why they have the best car.
Okay, fair enough.
There is also a lot of other people at Red Bull that work towards that, but he's like the head honcho.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, like, it was just ludicrous watching that. I can kind of understand why everyone thought it was a boring race, because it felt like that. It was like, oh, Max is winning, and Max is still winning, and then Max won. But like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. He was in front by like 30 seconds. He took a pit stop and no one overtook it.
No one
I don't understand.
I was on the phone to my dad and I was like, everyone had pitted, and I was like, oh, yeah, Max can just pit. And he just pitted and still had 7-second lead or an 8-second lead. I was like, yeah, great. Mate, it's just this is why I said to you last week, like, no one cares about the front, no one cares about who wins. Yeah. Because we have now had this for probably 10 years. Like, when Sebastian Vettel was in the Red Bull, he would just dominate, nowhere near to this level. But like, it was like, oh yeah, Seb's in front, he's going to get a lead. When Lewis was in front, he's going to get a lead. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh no, they actually had challenges. What about this race? What about that race? Like, I know, but like, general rule of thumb over the season, they dominated. Like, they had their periods of dominance.
Okay. And is this the same? I know you've already said you can't really compare this to like your Sennas and whatnot from however long back in the day when they only did 8 races a year. But would you say this is like standard, or is he like on track to be the best ever? Or
he could be, but yeah, it's pretty standard. Like if you've got the best car through a certain, like a specific rule era of Formula One, it's pretty much that like not a lot of things will change. That's why Lewis dominated for so long. They came out the gates with the new V6 like hybrid engines in 2013, 14 or whatever it was, and they just had the best engine. They had a year where they kind of struggled to get everything else sorted out, but they were the fastest team, and then they dominated for 8 seasons in a row. Okay. It was only Mercedes that won. It was Lewis, and then in 2016, Nico beat him, his teammate. Right. But like, yeah, it's just what we always get in Formula One. In the 90s and 80s and stuff, it was probably a bit more like Williams could win, then Ferrari could win, then McLaren could win. So it was a little bit different in that sense. But yeah, modern Formula One is pretty much just this.
Okay.
So just look further down the field.
All right, I can do that. Well, I did look further down the field than Max and wanted to ask you about Lewis, who finished 9th, did we say? 8th or 9th?
7th, I think.
Okay. All right, sorry.
I think Fernando was in 9th.
So again, like he was quite good, won lots of things, and you know, whatever his accolades are, and he's looking to go to Ferrari.
You have just summarized the best on paper Formula One driver ever with whatever his accolades are.
I didn't. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
He has 7 world champions. There's only 2 people in the history to do that. It's Lewis and Michael Schumacher.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. They were the words I was looking for. Thanks. Appreciate it. So he's quite good. I understand Mercedes don't have the greatest car at the moment, whatever. Yeah. But given how good he was then, I would have thought he would beat his Mercedes teammate, which he just never looked like happening. Just
like nowhere near.
It was just out in front of him the whole time.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like,
okay, so I'm not wrong to be confused by that.
I was so confused. Like the first 10, 15 laps when he was still behind, he was still like in P8 or 9 or something like that, and I was just like, he's not overtaken anyone. And George is at the front, like struggling with, I don't know what, he had like an engine overheating problem and still challenging the Ferraris. And I was like, how is he challenging a Ferrari and Lewis is struggling to get past a fucking Aston Martin? I don't get it. Either it's that he's clocked out because he knows he's moving to Ferrari next year. So he's just like, I don't care. Okay. Or it's the beginning of the end for Lewis. Wow. Who knows?
Huge call. Okay. Can I ask you a couple more questions? RB, Red Bull junior team, I assume. What's the idea there? Why did Red Bull want or need a junior team, and why are they so much worse if they are the same company?
So why they want it is because they want to develop drivers from junior formulas like Formula 2 or Formula 3. They want to develop them up to Formula 1 and without putting them in their main seat and ruining the reputation of their main car, to be able to train them up and get them up to speed with Formula 1 to then promote them into the main car. So Max Verstappen raced for what was Toro Rosso.
Okay.
That was like their old name. So he raced for them for a season or half a season or something and then got promoted to the Red Bull. And so it's literally just, that's why they do it.
Okay.
The reason they're not as fast as the Red Bull or they're not competing is because there are rules in Formula 1 that no team is allowed to share secrets. So like Red Bull can't just go, hey, here's the blueprints to our car. Yeah. Go and build it. They're not allowed to do that. It's against the rules. So before this season, there's been a lot of controversy with Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren, has come out and said like a lot of ludicrous stuff like the Red Bull junior team is going to just be a copy of last season's Red Bull, and they're sharing secrets and they're doing this and they're doing that. And like there's been calls for Red Bull to sell that team to somewhat like to another outsider, maybe Andretti, who knows, because they think they're sharing secrets. But as you've just pointed out, they suck. So they're clearly not sharing secrets. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Understood.
Yeah.
And then, so what's the outcome of that first race in terms of the 2 championships? What's happened points wise? I assume Red Bull have lots.
Yeah.
And then what else? Who gets points there in the Constructors Championship in particular? I assume the drivers are just the order of the drivers.
Yep. Top 10. Okay. Only top 10 get points. So it's 25 for the winner, 18 for second place, 15 for third place, 12 for fourth place, and then 10, fourth, then 10 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Is there a 3, Charlie?
There's no 3.
Damn it.
When I put 2 fingers up, it means 2.
Okay. I get it. There's lots of points for the winner and less points for the 10th.
A lot less points, yeah. So the drivers will get them points from 1 to 10, and then the teams just add them up. So Checo and Max got 43.
Okay.
See that for maths?
Nice. Well done. But that's for the Drivers' Championship?
So Max will be on 25 points.
Yeah.
Constructors, which is teams.
It's just
Red
some
Bull.
of them. Okay.
Yeah, will be 43. What have you got there, Charlie?
I've got the update for constructors if we want that.
Yeah. Who's like where are they sitting at the moment?
So Red Bull's 1 with 44, Ferrari's 2nd with
44.
27.
Sorry. What I did miss, if you get the fastest lap in the race, you also get a bonus point.
Oh,
so
yeah. I
Max
heard him
will
talking
have probably
about
got that
Yeah.
bonus point.
So Ferrari 27 at 2nd, Mercedes coming in 3rd with 16, McLaren 12 points at 4th, Aston Martin with 3 points, and the rest are yet to trouble.
Beautiful.
There you go. So yeah, usually like first, you don't really look at the Constructors' Championship for the first like 5-6 races.
Okay.
Because it's usually it's going to be pretty much that for a while.
Okay.
Unless Red Bull have a fucking blunder this weekend, but I can't see it. Okay, now we're going to move on to a segment we call Name That Driver. This is a game where me and Skin are going to be read clues to guess an F1 driver. These clues can just be from like nationality of the driver to who he's raced for or to like a common phrase or anything like that. It can be any random fact about them. We'll get 5 clues. The first clue will be relatively hard and the last clue will be a lot easier. So the whole point is that if you guess it on the first clue, you get 5 points. If you guess it on the last clue, you get 1 point, and the points go down as you go through the questions. Charlie has prepared 2 drivers for us to guess. Skin's going to go up first, and because he's new to Formula One, we've made it slightly easier. The driver that you've got is from the current grid, I am told, and your like hints are going to be slightly easier than mine are.
Wonderful. Okay. If they're from the current grid, there's about a 30% chance I'll know them.
Actually, after this, I want to play a little game where you try and list all 20 drivers because I think that could be funny. Okay. Take it away, Charlie.
Righto, so clue number 1, Skinnled. This driver made his Formula One debut in 2007 with McLaren.
Easy.
Well, that's a while ago, 2007.
Oh, yeah.
So I've really only got Alonso. He's old.
Probably a touch earlier, Alonso started.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, well, seeing as that was his 20th Bahrain Grand Prix, that would teach 2004.
Yep, gotcha.
Has he had a guess, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get as many guesses as you want because the points go down, you see, Charlie.
No, surely I only get 1 guess per clue.
Oh, per clue. Sorry. Yeah. That's what I meant. Move on to clue 4.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, 2. You know what I mean?
Known for his fashion sense, and he has a keen interest in music, even releasing his own music.
Oh, very big clue.
Fuck.
Fashion and music?
I don't know.
There's 2 people on the grid that like music and that have released their own music.
Yeah, and I know neither of them.
We have mentioned both in this podcast.
Okay. Lando Norris.
No.
Unfortunately, Lando joined in 2017, I think.
Okay,
So
I thought he was young, but he seems like a fashionista.
I mean, they're all pretty clued up.
Clue 3. He secured his first Formula One World Championship in 2008.
Come on, Skin.
What?
Should have been 2007, probably.
I don't know. Lewis Hamilton, I guess.
There you go.
Bang!
Lewis Hamilton.
Nice. All right.
Funnily enough, clue 5 was he equaled and surpassed Michael Schumacher's record for the most world championships, which Dave has already said today.
Okay, good. I would have backed myself again. He released music.
Yeah. He's like real keen on his music. So yeah, he does. I don't really know. I've not listened to any of it.
Cool. Okay.
As you all know, Lewis I'm not his biggest fan, so I'm definitely not getting around that. But apparently it's good.
Yeah. Well, I'll get it playing in the office. So
oh yeah. First time we've ever played music in the office, and it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. Brilliant. All right then, Charlie, I'm up next. Hit me. Clue number 1.
Clue number 1. This driver made his Formula One debut in 2002 for Minardi.
Oh! Am I allowed to ask any question? No. Okay.
I don't have the answers for you.
That's true. Mark Webber.
You got it.
Bang!
Mark Webber.
I was just trying to think of who would have joined early doors. I was going to go Mark Webber or Jensen, but I don't think he raced for Minardi. So
do we want some more?
Let's go for the other clues.
Do you want the other clues
I want to know about
Hamilton
Mark
first?
Webber.
Mark Webber's Australian.
That's why I picked him. Just to make skin.
He's an
feel at
Aussie.
home.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's another clue.
So clue 2 was before joining Formula One, he had a successful career in sports racing, notably in the Le Mans 24-hour.
Oh,
Wait, that's Hamilton or Webber?
Webber.
We'll keep Webber, and then I'll do the few for the last few for Hamilton.
Yeah, right. I did not know that I knew he raced sports cars like afterwards, I think, but I did not know he'd raced before.
Clue 3 would have been known for his tall stature. He stands out among F1 drivers.
Yeah, that would have been it. 100%.
4 was he achieved his first Formula One win at the 2009 German Grand Prix.
So he was in the sport for 7 years before he got a win.
Crikey.
Imagine that. That's a long time.
That is.
There's some drivers like...
Did he drastically improve or did teams...
He's got a better car.
Yeah.
He's got...
right.
He started racing for Red Bull.
Okay.
And then the 5th clue was he raced for Red Bull Racing alongside Sebastian Vettel, contributing to the team's success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Some very controversial stuff between him and Seb as well. Can't remember what race. I think it was Malaysia some year. Mark Webber was leading, and back then you couldn't choose your own numbers. So numbers were assigned from your, like the champion would then take number 1 and 2 to their team. So Seb was the champion. So Seb was number 1, meaning Mark had to have number 2 on his car.
Right, okay.
So they're driving around. Mark's leading the race, and Seb's behind him in second. Team radio message comes over, Seb, multi-21. So we hear this shit all the time. Like with Lando at McLaren, they have a mode 7, which is just it's on the steering wheel. You'll see them changing buttons and stuff. So it's just an engine mode that changes something on the car. I don't really know. So we hear multi-21. We're all just thinking he's just got to change something. Maybe he's managing a problem or something. Then Seb starts attacking him and like trying to overtake. Mark comes on the radio, is fuming, like pissed. And he's like screaming at the team, this isn't fair, this, that. Seb passes, wins the race. And then in the cool down room, Mark's like sat on a chair and like Seb stood there and Mark's like, multi-21, Seb, multi-21. And the world just fucking blew up and it was like, what is multi-21? What does this radio message mean? Okay. And it turns out it just meant car number 2 in front of car number 1. And that was literally it. So the drama was that Seb had disobeyed the orders and didn't let Mark win the race when at that point in the race, the team had decided Mark is winning.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dramas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seb's a pig.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he's not. He's actually a great person, but like, that's piggish behavior.
Yeah, sure. That seems like that. Wasn't there piggery in the Red Bull? Piggish behavior in the Red Bull team. What was the drama with Daniel Ricciardo overtaking?
Oh, yeah. Skin. Yes. I wrote it on the document. I didn't even read it. I'm a pig. Yes. So at the end of the race, I think it was Kevin Magnussen in the Haas was like slowing down. Like his tires were off. He was not on pace. Yuki Tsunoda right on his tail, like 4 tenths off him. Danny Rick, another 4 or 5 tenths off of Yuki. Mm-hmm. Yuki gets a radio message. Daniel wants to come past. He's on faster tires. Let him through. He's going to attack him. With like 3 laps left of the race. Fair enough. We see this quite a lot, but it's team orders. Usually what they'll do is they'll let the driver through. If he can't overtake him on the last lap, they'll then swap them back around. But there was no radio message to say, hey, look, we're going to try this and we'll swap you back around afterwards. So Yuki's like, nah, I'm not letting him through. They persist. Yuki lets him through. Maybe they said to him, I don't know, I've not listened to the onboards, but maybe they said to him, we'll swap you back over. Danny Rick, in the meantime, is like, he's getting pissed over the radio because Yuki's not moving out of the way. Bullshit. Danny, pass the fucking guy if you want to get past him. Okay? I love you, but that's piggerish.
Okay.
We're changing the word of pig, aren't we? Anyway, so he passes him. Yuki's obviously furious. Race ends. Danny's just going slow back around to the pits after the flag has dropped. So he's gone super slow now, just cooling his car down, relaxing. Yuki has come steaming down his right-hand side, braked into the corner, locked up in front of him, just like pissed. And then as Danny Rick's then gone back in front, Yuki's stormed back past him on his left-hand side, going like inches from hitting him and just like floored it past him. Danny Rick's come over the radio and he's like, that guy is a helmet, and has just roasted him, and they're off each other now. So drama at the Red Bull Junior team because they fucking hate each other.
Okay, bit of drama.
But also funny as fuck content.
Yeah, right. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, but Danny, if you're watching this, just pass him. That's also coming from a guy that's never raced.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't be watching this. So.
What do you mean? Danny Rick will be all over this.
You reckon?
Yeah, he's got Formula Fools tattooed to his arm. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's a stretch. Anyway, that is all we've got time for today's Formula Fools podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did. Now it's your turn to join the Formula Fools family and connect with us on socials to become a fellow fool.
You can also leave us a rating if you wouldn't mind, wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, those sorts of things. That would help out a great deal.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Sweet. I also didn't mention for the second week in a row that our socials are Formula_Fools on everything.
Nice.
Go disco. Thank you for joining us at Formula Fools, where every turn is a chance for a good laugh. We'll see you next time.